Who's ready to axe the tax? Well, we know who's not ready to axe the tax. Apparently, Justin Trudeau is in the building and in hiding at exactly the same time. He does not want to come to the House of Commons and debate me on the carbon tax, even though he's attending his private caucus meeting. What has he got to hide? It has been a panicked few days for Justin Trudeau, hasn't it? Last week, he had doubled down on his carbon tax, saying there would be no breaks for anyone, that Atlantic Canadians, and indeed all Canadians, according to Trudeau, could freeze in the dark. And then his members of Parliament started pounding on his office door. He was briefed that I was on the verge of holding a 1,000-person rally in a former Liberal stronghold of common-sense Nova Scotians rallying to axe the tax. He trembled in the corner of the office, shaking in the fetal position, begging me to cancel the rally, to take the heat off of him. But my friends, let's not forget, it was roughly a year ago today that you in this room, the common sense conservatives, launched a campaign to keep the heat on and take the tax off, and we're continuing that campaign today. But it's worse than just keeping the tax. Trudeau now thinks it is time to quadruple the tax on Canadians right across the country. Why now? Now, after 8 years of Justin Trudeau, everything costs more. A record-smashing 2 million Canadians had to go to a food bank in 1 month. Food bank leaders say they have never seen anything like it. Diseases of malnutrition like scurvy are making a comeback after 8 years of Trudeau. 7 million Canadians are not eating enough to stay healthy. 1 in 5 skip meals because they cannot afford the price of food after 8 years of Trudeau taxing the farmers who grow the food and the truckers who ship the food, and therefore all who buy the food. Work no longer pays. You make it, Trudeau takes it. And housing costs have doubled. Double the rent, double the mortgage payment, double the needed down payment for a home in Canada. 8 years ago, a down payment was a modest $20,000 for an average Canadian home. That has more than doubled to well over $50,000. 9 in 10 Canadians now believe that under Trudeau, they will never be able to afford a home. And many people, I used to talk about the 35-year-olds living in their parents' basements. And the Liberals laughed and made fun of those young people, calling them names. They would cackle in the House of Commons about how these poor young people were just not making it in life because of their own failures. But we know now that that's the least of our problems. We have parents who now have to move back in with kids because Trudeau's policies have risen the rent on our seniors. Worse still, we have a new phenomenon not seen since at least the Great Depression, where middle-class people are becoming homeless. Fully employed carpenters and nurses living in parking lots, in cars, in Canada. 8 years ago, this would have been unimaginable. What happened? Justin Trudeau happened. That's what happened. Now we learn the news that people are leaving Canada in record numbers. Canada used to be a beacon of hope. People around the world would clamor to get into our doors. Now, when they arrive, they look around and say, what happened to this place after 8 years? And they flee for the exits. And who can blame them? Because after 8 years of Justin Trudeau, everything feels broken. No, after 8 years of Justin Trudeau, everything is broken. And what does he do when the heat starts? He divides to distract. He will once again tear apart the country, turn Canadian against Canadian. We know how he does it. He divides by race, sexuality, vaccine status, and now region. That is his latest divide and conquer strategy. As people, he wants people to forget that they can't afford to heat their homes or feed their kids or pay the rent. So he's going to vilify people in different parts of the country. He wants to turn you against your fellow Canadian so you forget how miserable life has become after 8 years of his government. His latest tactic is to charge higher carbon taxes on some people than on other people. A divide and conquer strategy being condemned even by some New Democrats. The NDP in Saskatchewan and Alberta have come out against the two classes of citizenship that Justin Trudeau has imposed with his carbon tax on heat. The Manitoba NDP government has opposed the unfairness, and even BC's NDP is raising concerns. So the question becomes, what will Jagmeet Singh do? Will Jagmeet Singh stand with provincial NDPers? Will he stand with the voters who put their trust in his MPs in places like Timmins and other cold northern communities? Or will he once again sell out working class Canadians in order to suck up to Justin Trudeau? That will be his decision. And he'll have a chance to make that decision on Monday, because I am announcing today that the Common Sense Conservatives have put forward a motion in the House of Commons extending the pause on home heating to all Canadians everywhere. And where is the money going from this carbon tax? Well, we found out today. Secret recordings from a top bureaucrat in the Liberal government admit that a green fund was giving out, quote, free money. Get this. I'm going to quote from the recording. It was free money, he said, before making an analogy with a controversy that affected Jean Chrétien's Liberal government in the 2000s. That is almost sponsorship scandal level giveaway. Wow. So when they said green fund, what they meant is putting green in the pockets of well-connected Liberals. $1 billion fund. $1 billion fund. While Canadians cannot afford to eat, heat, and house themselves, Trudeau wants to quadruple the carbon tax to 61 cents a litre in order to hand out more gifts and more giveaways to wealthy, connected Liberal insiders. So I'm offering a compromise to Justin Trudeau. If he'll come out of hiding from under his desk, I want to make a deal with him. We all know that we're not going to agree on the carbon tax. He wants to raise it. I want to axe it. We all know that, okay? But he is now admitting that taxing people's home heat does nothing for the environment and makes people worse off. He's admitted that with his flip-flop on Thursday. So let's make a deal. Let's pause the carbon tax on all home heating until Canadians go to the polls so that we can have a carbon tax election where Canadians will decide between his plan to quadruple the tax to 61 cents a litre on heat, gas, and groceries, and my common sense plan to axe the tax and bring home lower prices. A carbon tax election. A carbon tax election. A carbon tax election. Well, Canadians will decide if they want to pay more to heat, eat, and house themselves, or whether they want a common sense conservative government that will free them to earn powerful paychecks that buy affordable food, gas, and homes in safe neighborhoods. That will be the choice in the carbon tax election. And Justin Trudeau just has to decide when that will happen. But it will happen, and Canadians will decide, and they will choose a common sense conservative government to axe the tax and bring home lower prices. Merci. Mais encore, il maltraite le Québec aussi. On a vu dans les derniers jours que le Parti québécois a annoncé un budget pour un Québec souverain. La première année avec un budget où le Parti québécois prévoit la séparation. C'est quoi l'argument que le Parti québécois fait maintenant? C'est quoi l'argument? C'est même pas un argument linguistique ou culturel. Maintenant, ils font l'argument que les Québécois ne peuvent plus payer les factures de Justin Trudeau. Ils font l'argument économique. Ils disent que Justin Trudeau a doublé la dette nationale, causé une inflation insupportable, qu'il a doublé le coût de loyer et des hypothèques, et les Québécois ne veulent plus payer la facture. Justin Trudeau divise partout. Son plan économique, ce n'est plus juste un fardeau sur les épaules des familles, sur leur chèque de paie et sur leur coût de la vie. C'est une menace à l'unité nationale. Il déstabilise notre pays. De l'Alberta, du Québec et partout, les Canadiens sont divisés par son approche qui mal gère l'économie et enlève l'argent des Canadiens. En plus, mais je veux juste corriger le Parti québécois. La solution à ce problème économique, ce n'est pas la séparation, c'est en élisant un gouvernement conservateur guidé par le gros bon sens qui va ramener des prix plus bas. Oui. Et le Bloc non plus. Le Bloc n'est pas une solution parce que le Bloc appuie la deuxième taxe carbone. Le Bloc veut imposer une taxe carbone sur les fermiers du Québec, sur les familles, sur l'essence et le diesel. Et quand on met une taxe sur l'essence et le diesel des fermiers qui produisent la nourriture et les camionneurs qui livrent la nourriture, c'est une taxe sur tous ceux et celles qui mangent la nourriture. Que veut le Bloc? Il veut radicalement augmenter la taxe Trudeau sur le dos des Québécois. Ça coûte cher voter Bloc, ça coûte très cher voter Bloc. Seulement, le Parti conservateur va libérer tous les Canadiens, y compris les Québécois, de gagner des grands chèques de paie qui sont capables d'acheter de nourriture, de l'essence et des maisons abordables dans des communautés sécuritaires. C'est ça le choix devant les Canadiens dans les prochaines élections. Un parti conservateur guidé par le gros bon sens, the common sense of the common people, united for our common home. Your home, my home, our home. Let's bring it home. Thank you.